All right, if you're building anything with AI right now, you've hit a fork in the road. You've got RAG, fine-tuning, or prompting. And listen, getting this choice right is everything. Get it right, you're on the fast track. Get it wrong, well, your project could be over before it even starts. And look, this isn't just some nerdy technical debate. It's a huge strategic decision. It hits your budget, your timeline, and, most importantly, whether your app actually, works. Each one of these tools is incredibly powerful, but using the wrong one for the job, it's like trying to hammer in a nail with a saw. It's just not going to end well. And let's be real, the stakes are super high here. Making the right call saves you a ton of time, a ton of money, and gets you to launch. But the wrong one? We're talking spiraling costs, endless delays, and an application that just flat out fails. But hey, don't sweat it. That's exactly why we're here. We're going to hand you the playbook. In just the next few minutes, we're going to break down these tools, put them head to head, and give you a dead simple framework so you can make the right call every single time. So let's dive in. Okay, first things first, let's get to know our toolkit. The key here is to stop thinking of these as competing ideas. They're not. They're three totally different tools, each one designed for a very specific job. First up is prompting. I like to think of this as the Swiss Army knife in your AI toolkit. It's fast, there's literally zero setup cost, you just hand the model its instructions and all the data it needs right there in the query. But here's the catch. It all has to fit inside the model's short-term memory, what we call the context window. That makes it absolutely perfect for small, one-off tasks and for prototyping ideas really, really fast. Okay, next we have fine-tuning. Now, if prompting is a multi-tool, fine-tuning is like sending your model to a highly specialized boot camp. You're not really giving it new facts. What you're doing is teaching it a new skill or a new behavior. You're teaching it your brand's specific tone of voice, or a really unique data format, or maybe how to speak the jargon of a niche field like medicine or law. It is incredibly powerful for getting that style and consistency just right, but it's a big upfront cost. And trust me, updating it with new information is a major headache. And finally, we've got RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is basically like giving your AI a library card and a super fast internet connection to a knowledge base that you control. So instead of just guessing based on its old training data, it can go look up current, verified, factual information. This is your go-to tool when you're dealing with a huge amount of information, when that information changes all the time, and when you absolutely, positively have to be able to cite your sources. Okay, so now that we've met the players, let's put them in the ring, side by side. This is where you really start to see which tool is right for you. Let's kick things off with one of the biggest differences. How quickly can you update the AI's knowledge? With RAG, it's instant. You just update a document in your database, and boom, the AI knows the new information. With fine-tuning, you have to retrain the entire model from scratch. It's slow, it's expensive, it's a whole process. This really gets to the core of it. RAG is like giving the model a book to read, while fine-tuning is like forcing it to memorize the entire book. Okay, this matrix right here, this is your golden ticket. It's the cheat sheet for this whole decision. Let's just hit the highlights. Look at knowledge size. Prompting is for tiny bits of info. RAG can handle massive, massive libraries. Update frequency? We just talked about it. RAG is instant. Fine-tuning is a slow grind. What about citations? If you need to prove where an answer came from, RAG is really your only option. But if what you need is pure speed, I'm talking low latency, then fine-tuning and prompting are going to be your champs. Seriously, you might want to pause here and just let this sink in, because this chart is the key to everything. Right, so you've got the cheat sheet. But how do you actually use it for your specific project? Well, we've got a simple 4-step blueprint for that. This is going to be your guide to get from an idea to the right implementation. Step 1, you've got to look at your knowledge. Is it huge? Is it small? Is it changing every day, or is it pretty static? Is it facts, or is it more about style? Step 2, what does the project actually need? Do you absolutely need citations? Is lightning-fast response time critical? And of course, what's your budget? Step 3, you gotta be honest about your constraints. Do you have the infrastructure for something like a vector database? Do you have the right people on your team? What's your timeline? And finally, and this might be the most important step, number 4, prototype and measure. Build the simplest possible version, test it, and let the actual data, not just your gut feeling, tell you which path is the right one. All right, now for a little pro tip. The absolute best systems out there, they don't just pick one tool. Sometimes the most powerful and elegant solution is to actually combine them. So let's check out the first combo, fine-tuning plus RAG. This is amazing. You use fine-tuning to teach the model your company's unique on-brand voice. You get that style perfect. Then, you use RAG to let it pull in accurate, up-to-the-minute facts from your knowledge base. What do you get? A customer support bot that sounds exactly like you and is never, ever wrong. It's the best of both worlds. Okay, how about this one? RAG plus prompting. This combo is fantastic for building really flexible, user-driven tools. So you use RAG to go find a bunch of relevant documents, maybe a set of scientific papers. Then you use the prompt to tell the model exactly what to do with them. Something like, summarize these papers, but explain it like I'm in high school. See? It's dynamic, it's grounded in facts, and it's incredibly powerful. And for the real heavy hitters, the most complex, demanding applications, you can actually combine all three. Think about a medical assistant AI. You'd fine-tune it so it understands all the complex medical jargon. You'd use RAG to give it secure access to a specific patient's records and the latest medical research. And then you'd use prompting to let a doctor specify their personal preferences for how information should be summarized. That's how you build a truly robust, production-grade AI system. Of course, we have to talk about the money. This chart gives you a rough idea of the costs for a system doing about 1 million queries a month. Now, at first glance, you might see RAG looking a little more expensive, but, and this is a big but, don't forget about the hidden costs of fine-tuning. Every time your data changes, you have to pay to retrain the whole model. RAG's costs tend to be way more predictable, and honestly, the value you get from instant updates and factual citations can be totally priceless. So let's bring it all home with a super quick decision guide. This is the TLDR. If you're working with small documents and iterating fast, start with prompting. Got a huge pile of documents and you need citations? That's RAG all day long. Need to lock in a very specific style or format on knowledge that doesn't change? That's a job for fine-tuning. Data's factual and updated constantly? RAG again. Need low latency on static info? Fine-tuning. Just experimenting with zero budget? Prompting is your best friend. This is your go-to guide for making that call fast. And that's the playbook. You've got the tools, you understand the trade-offs, and you have the framework to make a smart, engineered decision. This isn't about guesswork anymore. You have the blueprint. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?